No, that's just the screen recording from the other class. Now.
Oh God, that's messed up.
That was such a big piece I couldn't fit it all in my mouth at once. Molly, that was so good.
What is that?
Ravioli with meat sauce. You like that ravioli with meat sauce, don't you? Okay. So. All right, do I have your attention back here?
Yes.
Everybody looking this way. Okay. We see the term here, at least. Has to catch at least 73 fish. At least and at most always mean an inequality. What does at least mean? Which inequality? I want to hear greater than or less than or equal to. Greater than or equal to. If you have at least, think about it this way. Lily?
Oh, I thought you said least, like
No,
less
at
than.
least. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
At least is greater than or equal to. What do you think at most is? Less than or equal to. If I say you have at most $10 in your wallet, if you have $5, do you have at most 10?
No.
If you have $5 in your wallet, do you have at most 10?
No.
All right, hold it. Guys, stop. You are all over the place. Look at me. Stop being distracted. If I say in your wallet, do you have at most $10 and you have nothing, you have at most 10? Yeah. At most 10 means you can't have more than 10.
Oh.
So if you have nothing, you're okay. You have at most 10. What if you have 5?
Yes.
Yeah. What if you have 6?
Yes.
What about 8?
Yes.
What about 9?
Yes.
What about $9.99?
Yes.
What if you have 10?
Yes.
Yes, because you are at most 10. You can equal the 10. What if you have $10 and a penny?
No.
No. Now we have a problem. Now, at least is slightly different. A good analogy for at least is when you go on the rides at like Great Adventure. You say to yourself, there's a little sign for certain rides that says you have to be at least 48 inches tall. If you're 47 inches tall, would you get on the ride? If they follow the rule. No. If you're 50 inches tall, would you get on the ride?
Yeah.
Yes. What if you're 48 exactly?
Yes.
Yes, you would. So at least means you're greater than or equal to that number. So the b plus the 4b has to be greater than or equal. Here's the phrase, at least 73. Same side situation, 5b is greater than or equal to 73. Divide by 5. B is greater than or equal to, this works out to be 14.6, but of course, unless there's some big bluefish or sharks in the area, there are no 0.6 fish. So what is the minimum number we can have here? 15. Yeah, if you have, watch, I'll show you why 14 doesn't work. If you have 14 for Brian, you have 56 for Bill, and 14 and 56 add up to 70. Is that at least 73? No. But if you go to 15, then that would make this guy 60. 15 and 60 add up to 75. That's at least 73, so that works. Excuse me, now I got the hiccups from my ravioli. Okay. I know your heart's breaking for me on that one, isn't it? All right. Now we get into the factories. And we've spent 2 days on this. I hope you took advantage of the website in case the factory was giving you a hard time. Now, we've had some people who have been on show choir. We have had some people who have just been absent due to lousy weather. Maybe one or two of you were sick. Whatever the reason, if you don't understand, go back and revisit some of the factoring that I have on the website. Okay, it'll be a great help to you. Now, number 2A, factor x squared minus 5x minus 24. Now, the technique that we've been using so far is this AM technique. Now, what do we think about first? Do we think about the M or the A? Everybody? M. Very good. Now, I think of how I can multiply out to negative 24 and possibly add up to negative 5. Now, here's the thing. At some point, we stop listing them all. This is an accelerated math class. If I was teaching a high school math class of kids on grade level, I would continue to list these things. You guys being accelerated, for the most part, should be really, really good at your times tables off the top of your head. So I'm not going to list them. What was the trick I showed you yesterday? Is really, really helpful if you happen to have a hard time remembering the factors or knowing the factors of a number. What can you do? Has to do with your calculator. What?
Put negative, like for the first one, you put negative 5x.
No.
Or divide by, I know there's.
You're close. You're
negative
not
5
exactly there.
divided by x.
Negative 24 divided by x. Because here's why, because it's multiplied. Okay? So you would put in y equals negative 24 divided by x, and then go to table. And the table, every time it's a decimal, it's not a factor, when one of them is a decimal. But when both of them are whole numbers, then they're both factors. Okay? What was the answer to this? What do we get here? Somebody who doesn't always help. Mia, you don't always help. What do we get? You don't know? Sid, help her out.
X minus 8 and x plus 3.
Good. Now, Mia, it's not bad that you don't know, but it is bad if when we leave the room you don't know. So when we do some factoring in a little while in pairs, make sure you work it off with people, and if you're still having difficulty, come and see me and I'll work with you, okay? All right, now, always, always, always check yourself by multiplying back. X times x is x squared, positive 3x, negative 8x, that adds up to negative 5x, and negative 24. Any questions? Okay. Letter B, what do we get there?
X, and then parentheses, x plus 7.
Good. You know what I love about what you just did? You didn't set up double packages. So many kids see something squared and they automatically set up double packages. That's a mistake. James, you play baseball? Coach Frank? Well, you did in 6th grade, kinda.
Yeah, no, I played for the travel team too.
Oh, okay. First and third, hope he goes.
Yeah.
Okay? Catcher's got the pump fake play on, or catcher's got the play where you hit it, where you throw it and the pitcher catches it, or the shortstop cuts behind. Whatever play you want to do. What's the first thing the catcher's supposed to do?
Pump fake it?
No, you got to peek at the runner at third.
Oh, yeah.
You come up, you do your pump fake, but as you come up, you're peeking at the runner at third. Because what do you do if the runner's coming full speed?
You chase after
You hold the ball and go after him. Right. In other words, don't throw it. Hold the ball and go after him. When you are crossing the street, what's the first thing you always, always, always do?
Look right.
Both ways. If you only look right, we might be reading about you in Newsday one day. Look both ways. Now, when you go to factor, this is very important, and we'll get into it a lot in a couple of days. Listen, this is huge because it's on every Regents. You always look for a common factor first. Always. Even if it says x squared, always look for a common factor. In this case, they share an x plus 7. Do not, just because you see an x squared, go to double packages. Now, some people may have written x plus 0 times x plus 7, and that does work. But it's not how we would present it, because what's a better way to write x plus 0? X. Okay? And now we get to letter C. What two numbers multiply out to 2 and add up to 5?
I don't.
Wow, I don't know either. Truth of the matter is, though,
Wait.
this is factorable.
Wait.
Whole numbers. That's great, Lily. Really, Sarah, this is so good.
I'm pretty sure it's not sharp.
Right now, Sarah's wondering if it's worth getting suspended. Now, here's the thing. What's different about letter C compared to all the other ones we did like A and B? Andre?
There's a 2.
That's 2 in front. As soon as we have a 2 in front, the first thing you should do is look for a common factor. Is there a common factor?
Yes. 2.
No, so don't go into 5.
10.
Mhm.
Oh, never mind.
1.
We'll call that a mental hiccup.
One is not a
1 is irrelevant, 1 is trivial. One's a common factor of everything on the face of the earth. Now, I'm going to show you the answer. It's 2x plus 1 times x plus 2. I'm going to show you that it checks. I'll show you that it checks. Ready? 2x times x is 2x squared. 2x times 2 is 4x's. And 1 times x is 1x. 4x plus 1x is 5x. And 1 times 2 is 2. Now, for many, many, many years, I used to teach this. Hold on. Don't copy it. I used to teach this the following way. I would say to them, as soon as you have a number other than 1 in the front, you try to factor it out. Today you're not going to be able to. In a couple days you will. Try to factor it out. You can't do it. So that means it's not gonna be x here, it's gonna be like 2x. If this was 5x squared, it'd be 5x. If it was 4x squared, it might be 4x and x, or 2x and 2x. You wouldn't know. And then I would just say, do trial and error. Just plug in all the possibilities and keep trying them until you find one that works. That's how I taught it for about 26 years, maybe 27 years. And it was one of the hardest things for kids to do. Now, I happen to be really good at it because I can just, for whatever reason, God gave me this mind that like I could process numbers lightning fast. But not every kid can do that. And then there's a math teacher at Saxton named Mr. Angelora, and he showed me a way to do this that makes life so much easier on kids. If you know how to do yesterday's factor, like choice A or letter A, if you can do that, what I show you today is 2 very simple, very easy steps added to what you did on letter A, and you will get every one of these right every single time, even though there's a 2 in front. Okay? It's really, really simple. You ready to learn it? Okay. Factoring is division, factoring is division, factoring is division. It's anti-distribute, and we don't want to use the calculator today. We can use it for that one trick I showed you about, you know, like negative 24 over x. Here's how we can do this in the easiest way in the world. I'm going to show you the trick. Then we're going to have you practice it. Ready? I look for a common factor. There is none. So I immediately get rid of this 2, and I multiply by 2 at the end. Now, any math student who seriously gets math would immediately say, wait a minute, you just changed the question. What did I do? And what specific thing did I do? What act? She's not even looking at the board, looking at this. Get it.
You, wait, hold on, remove it from, no.
I multiply by 2, right? Now, in mathematics, if I multiply by something and I later divide by that same thing, I can balance it out. For example, what's 7 times 10?
70.
What's 70 divided by 10?
7.
Didn't I get back what I started with?
Yes.
All right, what about 3 times 10? Divided by 10? 3, I get it back again. So if at some point I come back and divide, I can balance out what I just did. Now, if I look at it now, it becomes x squared minus 5x plus 4. You guys factor that. That should be really easy to factor, right? I don't know if I can eat anymore. Okay, when you factor just this one, what do you get? Somebody talk to me here. What?
X minus 4, x minus 1.
Perfect. Let's do a quick mental check, make sure it works. What's x times x?
X squared.
X squared. What's x times negative 1? Negative 1x. What's negative 4 times x? Negative 4x. What's negative 1x plus negative 4x? Negative 5x. And what's negative 4 times negative 1? Positive 4. Now, this isn't the final answer yet, but this is the hardest part of getting the final answer. Now, remember before we said if we took 7, multiply by 10, divide by 10, we get back what we started?
Yeah.
Well, in this problem, I didn't multiply by 7, I multiplied by 2. And I multiplied the last thing by 2. So now I'm going to come over here and divide the last thing by 2. Okay. Now, sometimes they'll reduce, sometimes they won't. What's 4 divided by 2?
Negative 2.
So I get x minus 2. Now, do you see how 1 over 2 doesn't reduce? Okay, watch me now. Ready? Do you remember how when you were in elementary school and you wanted to convert to an improper fraction, you do like 2 times 1 plus 1?
Yeah.
That's what you're going to do. 2 times x minus 1.
Hold on.
And that's your answer. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay? So what I want you to do is try number 9. I really, truly don't expect you to get it right, but I want you to play with it. Talk to people around you. Just number 9. Don't go any further. I'll go through number 9 with you, then we'll do the same thing for 10. And then you guys will work together for, I'll do number 9, then you'll do 10, then I'll work on number 11, you guys will do 12 and 13.
Oh, so we're not doing them?
You're doing number 9. Don't be afraid to talk to somebody sitting around you, right? See how they handle things.
I have a question on the last part.
The only thing that's gonna be wrong about it is both sides should be positive. Because you have to multiply out to the negative. Furthermore, 6 times 1 doesn't equal. Oh, wait, you put 6, I'm sorry, 6 times 1 does equal half, but one of these needs to be negative.
Okay.
And also, when you do this and you check back, you're not gonna get a 1. Okay. Now, first off, there's a 3 in front, so it's danger, danger, danger. Can you divide a 3 out of all 3 terms? No. So then that means I'm going to multiply by 3 here, and I get x squared minus x minus 6. How do I factor that?
X minus 3 and x plus 2.
Good, that does work. I'm not gonna back check it, but it does work. Now, since I multiplied by 3, what do I have to do now? Everybody?
Divide
Divide by 3. If it can divide, do it. What's 3 divided by 3?
Negative
So x minus 1. And here, I do my elementary school trick. 3x plus 2. And that's my answer. Okay? Now, remember what I said when we began this. I said, if you can do what we did yesterday, namely factor this, today is just one little step before, one little step after. That's it. All right, try the next one. Don't hesitate to talk to each other. We're still working on it? Okay, so I took the liberty of multiplying by 5 and getting n squared minus 7n minus 30. How do I factor that? Lily?
X plus 10 and X, no, maybe,
Wilfredo?
N minus 10.
Yeah, minus 10 plus 3. You had your signs backwards. Two ways to do it. Listen, if you do your, look at me, Lily. If you do your quick mental check when you're done with your attempt, you'll see that you made a mistake. So you didn't do that. The other way is to remember that in this step right here, it's not true when there's a 5 in front. Did you hear me say that? But when it's just a 1 in front, this is always the sign of the bigger number. So as soon as you saw that was negative, you knew the 10 had to be negative. Okay? Now, I multiplied by 5, so what do I need to do now? Everybody? Divide by 5. Only the last term. So I get n minus 2 times 5n plus 3. Okay? Any question about that? How many people got it right? Nice. Very good. Okay. Number 11. What do you notice right next to the number 11? The asterisk. Star. That's there for a very important purpose. Remember we said before that when we play baseball and we're doing this first and third hope he goes play, you always have to peek at the runner first, otherwise they could score a run. Or when you cross the road, you have to look both ways. Well, when you factor any quadratic or anything under the face of the earth, you're supposed to always look for a greatest common factor. Does this guy have a greatest common factor? Yes. So this one's actually easier than the preceding 3. I'm going to pull out that 2, and I get n squared plus 5n plus 4. Nope, not quite done. You then have to ask yourself, can I factor the trinomial? Can you?
Yeah.
Yes, you can. Do it. Okay, how do I factor n squared plus 5n plus 4? What do I get on that one? Leanne?
n plus 4.
That's right. Now, quick mental check. N squared, 1n, 4n's, 5n's, 4 times 1 is 4. And then if I then take that and multiply by the 2, I get 2n squared plus 10n plus 8. So I know I got it right. Okay? Now, this is what you should do all the time first. I actually taught it to you backwards. You should always look for the common factor first. If it's there, you pull it out. And then you don't have to worry about that fancy technique. Okay? If you pull it out and there's still a number in front, then you got to go to the fancy technique. Yes?
If it's like that and it does work, could you still use the other thing?
Here's the trick if you did the other one. If you did the other technique, I would have gotten this. It's not that it breaks down. You have to be aware of something. N squared plus 10n plus 16, which would make it n plus 8, n plus 2. And then I would have to divide back in by 2, and you get n plus 4, n plus 1. What's missing? The 2. So you have to remember when these share a common factor, you have to remember to put that common factor in front. That's why you're better off not doing it that way. If you can remember that, that's good. Most kids will forget. Okay? So the best way is to, if they see a common factor, pull it and work with it forward. All right, 12 and 13, talk to each other. It is a good thing to talk to each other. It really, truly is. Get your answer, exit the person next to you got the same answer. Right there, minor. Hold on. All right, so in number 12, is there a common factor? Everybody? Yes, what is it? 2. So I'm going to pull out the 2, and I'm left with h squared minus 3h minus 40. Can I factor h squared minus 3h minus 40?
Yes.
Yeah, what'd you get?
2, and then h minus 8,
Yep,
and h plus 5.
that's right. Okay, checking it back, h times h squared plus 5h's minus 8h's adds up to negative 3h's, negative 40, then by 2, 2h squared minus 6h minus 8. Questions? Okay. What about number 13? Is there a common factor?
No.
No. So then we go to what we call Plan B. Plan B is the Mr. Angelora technique. Times by 4, and I get x squared plus x minus 12. Factor that. Lily, what'd you get?
Oh, I only did 12, I only got 12.
All right, now that you look at it, what are the factors gonna be?
Um,
I mean, obviously x and x. You gotta multiply out to negative 12.
positive 6 and negative 2.
6 and 2 won't add up to a 1 in between.
X minus 3 and x plus 4.
Good. X minus 3 and x plus 4. X times x is x squared. Plus 4x minus 3x adds up to plus x minus 12. But I did the multiply by 4, so now I have to remember to do the divide by 4. Sometimes kids forget to bring that 4 back in and divide. You gotta do that. This guy is not reducible, so the 4 goes up there and I get 4x minus 3. And this guy becomes 1. Okay. Any question about those? Okay, start your homework. What do you always look for when you go to factor any trinomial with a number other than 1 in the front? If you have like 2x squared, 3x squared, common factor. Always, always, always look for that common factor. Makes your life so much easier. If it's not there, then you go to Plan B or the Mr. Angelora technique.